Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today I thought we would do something a little bit different, making sure that I'm getting enough sleep, eating enough, balancing blood sugar, hydrating, enough carbohydrates, fueling around training. And so I thought I would share what I eat in a day. So I have my meals laid out to give you an idea, and I'm going to go through each meal and snack and explain why I chose that and how that contributes to mitigating symptoms now that I'm in perimenopause, just overall tuning back into my body. So the first thing I wanted to show you was my breakfast. So this is one of my favorite breakfasts, 3 eggs, and then I have 3 slices of Canadian bacon, and these 2 slices of this amazing multi-grain sourdough we get from a local store, and it is long fermented. And that's really, really important because the long fermentation process makes it a prebiotic fiber for the gut, slows blood sugar rise, so it actually raises blood sugar about 50% less than regular bread. The reason I eat eggs, and almost every day I have 2 to 3 eggs, is because egg yolks are one of the richest sources of choline, and about 85% of women are deficient in choline. And choline is absolutely critical for brain health and fat oxidation and numerous other benefits in the body. So please don't skip the yolk, and it's delicious. And the fat in the yolk is what's going to slow the absorption of the carbs. And then the additional Canadian bacon, which is a lean protein, brings my meal up to about 30 grams of protein. So when you're looking at your meals, you're looking to target about 30 grams to 40 grams of protein per meal. Now, I also always make sure to include at least 3 servings of fermented foods in my diet. And one of the reasons is because in perimenopause and menopause, there's all of this emphasis on eating protein, but there isn't, in my opinion, enough emphasis on eating plants and eating whole food carbohydrate sources. And what we see is that the estrobolome, which is our estrogen related regulation, is directly tied to our microbiome. And the more diverse bacteria we have in our gut, the less symptomatic we are, the less weight we gain, the better we feel, and the better we sleep. So it's really, really important to not just focus on protein, but also be focusing on those whole food carbohydrate sources. So for breakfast, what I'm gonna add there is I'm gonna have a couple bites of this kimchi. This kimchi is a fermented food, and this gives me 10 trillion beneficial bacteria. So I do not take a probiotic. I like to get the probiotics from food and the prebiotics from food and fibers. And this is one of my favorite kimchis because it's really mild, and the spicy ones can have a lot of pepper and garlic, and then it's on my breath the rest of the day. So this has also been shown. What's so cool is that they did a study in women, and over 3 months of just adding kimchi to the diet, it reduced waist circumference, blood pressure, and improved metabolic health all around. So kimchi is just an amazing superfood. And then we're gonna get to about mid-morning, and I'm gonna be hungry. So one of my favorite snacks is, I've shown you guys this one before, but this is gonna be cottage cheese. And I love the Nancy's Organic because this is a fully fermented cottage cheese. Actually has live beneficial bacteria. A lot of the dairy products on the market do not have live bacteria. All of Nancy's products are fully fermented, so this is a superfood for the gut, plus the cottage cheese is a great source of protein. And then I'm gonna mix that with my homemade El Reuteri yogurt. That's in here, which I am going to post about the recipe and provide a link because this has been incredible for my gut health. My next favorite is this White Mountain Bulgarian yogurt, and you'll see that it is a full fat yogurt, and the Nancy's is low fat. So combining the full fat and low fat, I don't know about where you guys live, but it has been so hard to find certain things, and cottage cheese is one of them. So mixing the White Mountain Bulgarian yogurt with the Nancy's cottage cheese as a snack, and then I love something crunchy because I have such a texture thing. And so one of my favorite things are these jackfruit chips from Costco. They are incredible. They are literally nothing but jackfruit, dehydrated, and they're sweet and crunchy. And one serving of these is 50 calories. So I throw a couple servings of that, and I have the crunch, and then I have the protein. And then if you didn't see here, the other thing I throw on top there, because again, I love texture, is Trader Joe's. They're back in season. The whole pumpkin seeds. I absolutely love these. They add a crunch. They're a great source of magnesium and zinc. So then we're moving on to lunchtime. And this is leftover Penang curry chicken, just regular organic white basmati rice. Now, the really cool thing about rice, sweet potato, when you cook it and then you cool it in the refrigerator and then you reheat it, that also becomes a prebiotic for the gut because it forms something called resistant starch. So I'm feeding my gut, and then the green beans, absolutely love green beans, super easy, in the air fryer at 450 for 15 minutes. And then we have the protein, again, about a palm portion. You know, I could cup my hand. The rice, same thing, about a fist portion. And then I'm gonna get through a couple hours and it's gonna be mid-afternoon and I'm gonna start feeling a little bit hungry again. So I'll have some almonds. These are just a sprouted, organic almond. I will add salt to them. I love salt, and unless you're salt sensitive genetically, you actually want to make sure you're getting enough salt in your diet. This is just a chunk of raw cheddar, which I love. And then I have a couple organic plums here. If I didn't have plums, it is the fall, but I live in Florida, so I'm still looking for some really good fresh apples, but I would do an apple with cheddar and some almonds as a snack. And then we're gonna get to dinner time. We have asparagus, sweet potato, and salmon. So this is actually a farmed salmon, but it's an organic farmed salmon that we get at Whole Foods. And what's really interesting is that the organic farmed salmon has more omega-3 heavy metals than the wild salmon. It often can be healthier now if the farming practices are quality farming practices. So this is imported from Europe. It's definitely not from the United States. And then in here we have some asparagus, which I absolutely love, simple, roasted in the oven, and then sweet potato. And like I said, having some starch at your dinner can really help with you falling into that nice deep sleep and your blood sugar not dropping too low overnight, and it's just delicious and satisfying. So that is an overview, and I actually pulled these out to show you because these eggs, if you haven't had them, guys, they're absolutely incredible. So when we look at eggs, the richness of the yolk tells us how nutrient dense it is, and these yolks are absolutely beautiful, and they just have this amazing creamy taste. And so I just wanted to show you my favorite eggs. So this is kind of like a day of eating for you. So what we're looking at is each meal, I'm looking for a quality protein, about palm portion, a quality starch, which is about a fist, a healthy fat, which is going to be about a thumb portion, and then a vegetable. Sometimes I even take leftover vegetables from dinner the night before, and I have them at my breakfast. And then my snacks, we're always looking for, a healthy fat or a quality protein and combining that with a quality carb. What I don't do is I wouldn't eat fruit by itself, even the jackfruit chips by themselves, because I'm gonna be hungry really short after that. But if we combine it with a healthy fat or protein, again, you're gonna slow the digestion and absorption of that sugar, and you're gonna keep that blood sugar level stable. So I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you'd like more ideas. And I felt like maybe some practical applications showing you what this actually looks like would be helpful. And one more thing I almost forgot was my water. I drink at least 80 ounces of water a day. Staying hydrated is absolutely critical. Dehydration, even just slight dehydration, slows cognitive function, slows recovery, actually impairs fat oxidation, and you can kind of just feel sluggish and moody if you're not drinking enough water. Oh, and one more thing too, is it definitely slows motility. So if you have trouble with motility, water and fiber are magic. The fermented foods, getting those fermented foods to feed that gut, because feeding the gut and improving the diversity of the microbiome is just as important as eating enough protein and getting those steps in and doing your resistance training. So it was wonderful to connect with you guys again. Let me know if this helped or something you'd like to see in the future, and I will see you next time.